Hey peoples of the interwebs, today we're checking out id Software's newest title, Rage. For those living under rocks, it is the company that made Doom, so expectations for this game are pretty high. And I must say, so far, it's delivering. But it's not all roses and blowjobs, so let's hop in. Right off the bat, I'll tell you the graphics are great if you tweak them. Without tweaking them, you will get a lot of screen tearing, and worst of all, this odd effect called texture streaming, where basically every time you turn your head, the textures will pop in. This can be fixed to a large degree, however, if you create a custom configuration file. Look at the video description for a link that shows just how to do it.
Good, you're back. I can use someone with your skills. Little problem up north that I need someone to check out.
Characters in this game look phenomenal. Some of the best animations and details I've ever seen. This does come at the cost of lesser objects like cans and cabinets being lower texture, but honestly, it's not that noticeable unless you're really looking close. Overall, this is one amazingly gorgeous game.
So make sure you're well stocked with supplies before you head out.
Just nothing the rats.
Now I'm playing this game on the PC using both a keyboard and controller depending on the situation, but I'll get more into that a little bit later. The game is very reminiscent of Fallout 3. Basically, there's an apocalypse, but before it happened, you and a bunch of others are cryogenically frozen to preserve humanity. Jump ahead, you wake up to find all your frozen friends dead, and the world is not what you expected. Humanity has survived without the Pops of Peoples, but it's rife with mutants and bandits. But there are still good people who have banded together and made towns and settlements. I'm not going to go into any more detail on the story other than that. Basically, this is Fallout 3 with gameplay leaning more heavily towards the shooter side rather than the RPG side. You don't get EXP, you don't get skill points or anything like that. But there are quests, crafting, and a large part of the game is racing based. Questing is pretty standard fare. You get quests from NPCs as well as from places like the job board. Your minimap shows you a little trail that leads you to your quest objectives, and so forth. Racing can be love or hate. I'm not a huge fan of racing games, and for me, controlling the vehicles with the WASD keys is awkward, which is why I use an Xbox 360 controller when I drive. With the controller driving, it's very smooth. I still suck at it, but it's much easier than with the keyboard controls. Aiming and shooting, on the other hand, is much harder with the controller. So for that, I normally use the mouse and keyboard. I know it's kind of strange having to switch between the two constantly, but it's what works best in my opinion. Another thing that differentiates this game from Fallout 3 and RPG games is that the world is not completely open. You can't go everywhere that you can see. You will often find impassable gates or doors that don't open. This makes it feel much more like a classic shooter, but it's still more open than those. I'd say it's found a bit of a middle ground between the two, which is fine by me, but I do prefer complete freedom.
Look who's back.
Well, good to see you again, friend. Almost gave you up for lost. And I see you ditched that ARC suit. Why, you could almost pass as one of us. Did old Clayton come through?
Let's talk about the flaws of the game. Other than the texture streaming issue I mentioned earlier, one problem that I keep having that is frustrating is occasional random lockups that last for a few seconds and then the game goes back to normal, which is very weird. But maybe something with the game not liking my system, or a bug that they need to patch, I really don't know. But it happens maybe, I don't know, every 10 to 15 minutes and it lasts for 3 to 5 seconds. Other than that, the game runs very smoothly on my rig, which is a little surprising considering that my CPU is so outdated. Gameplay-wise, I'd say the story isn't all that interesting so far, but the combat is very smooth and fun, so that really keeps you moving forward.
Incoming!
Overall, I'd say if you like shooters and if you really liked Fallout 3, then I definitely suggest you pick up this game, either for PC or Xbox 360. If you're tired of post-apocalyptic settings though, then you may want to skip this one. Alrighty, thanks for watching my video. That's pretty much all I got to say. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the little like button and subscribe.